Hi guys, and welcome back to the Revolution Beauty YouTube channel. My name is Katie Eve from Katie Eve Makeup, and today I'll be showing you some of our new products to help your makeup last all day. Okay, perfect. So I've done all my skincare, so I'm going to go into primer now, and I'm going to be using the Revolution Glass Skin Primer, the Ultimate Dewy Finish. I love this one as it gives you a really nice dewy finish to skin, a really lovely glow to the skin without having to apply so many like oily kind of products to your skin. And it also kind of leaves a little bit of like a tacky base, which obviously gives the foundation and any sort of base products that you apply to it, it gives it something to stick to, which just means that it's going to last even longer. Perfect. So now my primer's on, it's time for foundation. So I'm going to be using the Makeup Revolution Conceal and Define Foundation in the shade F1. This is 100% my go-to foundation for its longevity, and if you haven't seen any videos of mine before, then I'll let you know that I do have quite dry and quite dehydrated skin, and even though this is like a semi-matte foundation, it doesn't cling to any dry patches, and it just sits on my skin really nicely and stays on my skin really nice throughout the whole day. You can use either a brush or a sponge. I just personally prefer to use a brush as I find you get more of the product and it doesn't soak into the sponge. Perfect, so now into concealer, and I'm going to be using the Makeup Revolution Conceal and Define Infinite Concealer in the shade C1. And again, I absolutely adore this one for its longevity. It just stays on my skin, and it's one of the very few concealers that I can actually trust and know that it's going to stay on my skin all day long, no matter what I'm doing. I've worn this one from literally like 5 in the morning till about 1 in the morning the next morning, and it stayed on absolutely fine. I don't like to apply too much underneath my eyes. I like to just kind of keep it on the corner. You don't need to bring it right the way out, as that can sometimes be a little bit of a waste of your concealer. One really good thing about this concealer as well is that it's actually infused with niacinamide. Now, niacinamide is a great product for getting rid of any blemishes. It's great for kind of like blemish prone skin, for skin that maybe has like more sort of visible pores, so it's actually got skincare properties in it as well, which is amazing for a concealer. So I just applied some over my blemishes, and I can be confident that it's gonna, you know, kind of treat my blemishes at the same time as covering them up. And it's not gonna like clog them or make them feel really like I've got loads of product in there, and I think that's very important when you want makeup that's going to last all day. You don't want to have like a really heavy feeling base makeup. And I like to again just kind of like tap this in with a brush. This just presses the concealer into the foundation and helps it blend together. Now, I know a lot of people like to powder at this point, but I personally like to do my foundation, my concealer, my bronzer, my blusher, and then my powder. I find my powder just kind of like helps melt the blusher and bronzer into the skin a little bit more. So I'm going to go in with my bronzer now, and I'm going to be using the Makeup Revolution Bronzer Reloaded in Take a Vacation. And then for my blusher today, I'm using the Makeup Revolution Blusher Reloaded in the shade Peach Bliss. Great, so now on to powder. And I've actually got a couple of new products from Makeup Revolution to talk to you about. These are both from the Infinite range. So you have the Makeup Revolution Infinite Loose Powder. So this one is a translucent loose powder. And then you also have the Infinite Pressed Powder as well. I'll obviously get them out of the boxes so you can see. So this is what the translucent setting powder looks like. And then the loose powder looks like this. So you have a little tab that you pull off, and then you press your powder brush or your sponge into it like that. So both of these products do also contain niacinamide again, which is amazing, so that blemish fighting product. And the powders are very finely milled and both hydrating too, and also both vegan and cruelty free, which is amazing. So I personally prefer a pressed powder as opposed to a loose powder. I just find it a little bit more easier to work with. I don't really use sponges with my makeup, but obviously if you do use a sponge, then you can use that loose powder. I just personally prefer a pressed powder and a brush. It's just my preference. I'm going to use quite a big powder brush for this, as I want to kind of spread it from my under eyes right down to my smile lines as well. Now, something that's a really good tip for smile lines is if you blow out your cheeks like this and then apply your powder on top of it, kind of let it sit for about 10 seconds. These powders aren't really for baking as such, and more for like a hydrating powder. So I'm just gonna get some on my brush and then tap it underneath my eyes, going down the sides of my nose. So you can see the difference, like even that sort of like under bag line has completely gone. Cool. And I'm just going to blow out my cheeks. I'm going to look really good doing it. And then just kind of dust the excess off. and it does feel really nice. It doesn't make my skin feel really tight or dry. It just feels really nice on my skin. It feels really smooth. Great, so now my powder's done. I'm going to show you another new product. So it is the Conceal Define Infinite Mattifying Longwear Makeup Fixing Sprays. This one has a 16-hour wear. I'm going to take this one, give it a little bit of a shake, and just spray it on my face. I like to apply this one before doing any highlighters. It gives something for the highlighter to stick to. And so for my highlighter today, I'm going to be using the Makeup Revolution Highlight Reloaded in Just My Type. Okay, perfect. So my makeup is completely done. I've been away for about 2 hours or so and my skin is still looking really nice. It looks matte but not in like a drying way, which is amazing. So I think that was obviously down to my concealer and powder combination. Yeah, my skin doesn't feel tight, it doesn't feel dry, it's not cracking anywhere, especially considering I have quite dry and dehydrated skin. It's really nice to find kind of products that last all day that don't crack. So yeah, that is it from me today. I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them down below and we'll get back to you as soon as possible. And I'm sure I'll see you soon. Thank you, bye!